So let's go over IPST and what I'm looking at. So you can see here, consumer defense, it's beverage wine distillery. So it's really absolutely probably nothing, right? Garbage, it's US. Low float, 1.23 million. Go down here, we've got plenty of cash, 27.6 months of cash available. Overall risk low, offering availability low, overhead supply low, historical is high, and then cash needed is low. We already seen cash is low, right? And then we go down here to warrants. We got warrants not registered. None of these warrants are registered. And if they are, there's not a whole lot anyway, right? Like, go down here to pre-funded warrants, exercise price of 40 cents. There's not very many here either. They're not registered anyway, right? This exercise price is basically, looks like these are just cashless warrants, right? So they could be sold pretty much anywhere. But like I said, there's not very many of them, and they're not registered. So back down in here even further, convertible notes, not registered. Again, not very many anyway. We've got some Series B preferred stock. These are registered, but there's none left, right? So we don't have to worry about that. Go down here, we got an equity line. We do have some equity line here, and they've already used some, right? So they have some of that. Oh, that's actually terminated. So that's not to worry about. We don't have to worry about that. It's been terminated. So now let's look at the shelf that's pending effect, right? The shelf capacities, 75 million. They have 3 million that they can use because it's restricted by baby shelf, and the price to exceed baby shelf is $60.91. So let's pay attention to this $60.91, right? $60.91. This is a pending shelf. That means they cannot use it right now. They currently have no dilution, right? Currently have nothing available that they can use. They have this pending effect, or they have this shelf down here, but it's pending effect, so there is no effect. We can go up here to filings, and you can see they have an S3, but no effect, right? And then also look up here, we have a notice of late quarterly filing, right? So another thing, they cannot have an S1, they cannot have an offering. If they already have shares available, like a warrants or something like that, they can use those. But as far as issuing new shares, they cannot have an offering until they update their quarterly financials, right? They have to release their 10Q before they can do any kind of dilution with this S3 anyway, right? So this has to be filed before they can do it. So once we start seeing a 10Q come out, then we know, hey, they might be getting ready to dilute, right? The effect. We still need this effect to be filed. But again, like I said, pay attention to this. This is what caught my attention. $60.91 is the price they need to get out of baby shelf, right? So even if they can dilute, even if this shelf goes into effect, it is restricted by baby shelf, meaning they can only raise 3 million when they have 75 million available. All they have to do is get to $60.91 and this thing, and then they can basically use this whole 75 million, right? So with that being said, remember that $60. Let's go to the news. You can see here that ultra low float and a $63 book value per share, drive 91% IPST, pre-market, whatever. So book value per share, they're saying is $63.04, which vastly exceeds the $2.20. So there was news out, or somebody was saying, or there's rumored, right, that the book value of this stock is $63.04. And again, let's go back to dilution tracker here. $63, what was that? $63.04. And then the baby shelf price target is $60.91. So that's where I'm getting my $60 price target, right? Does that mean it's gonna get there? Not at all. But there's no dilution, there's no risk or worry adding shares or diluting right now, right? There's nothing there for them to dilute. So I'm halfway expecting them to push this up to $60.91 so they can use this whole shelf, right? Maybe they raise a little between this move if they don't push it all the way up there. Maybe they do end up raising a little bit. But like I said, right now they have nothing to pull from. So I'm not really sure what they're going to raise, right? So that's where I'm getting my $60 price target, and that's kind of how I'm reading the filings, and that's what I'm looking at to see if there's any overhead resistance when it comes to warrants, convertible notes, or anything like that. So again, looking for this thing to get to $60. Doesn't mean it's going to, but I think there's a good chance, and I will be watching this tomorrow to see if we get a push higher.